Well, hello, and welcome to another edition of Shrink-Wrapped Book Reviews on my channel, JCVMD. I'm your host, Jonathan Jahali, and I am a quadruple board-certified child and adolescent psychiatrist, a Chinese-Canadian Pisces, currently practicing in Los Angeles, but hailing to you from my hometown of Toronto, Ontario. Today's book review is on Boundaries by the doctors Henry Cloud and John Townsend. For those of you who are Christian or Christian curious, doctors Henry Cloud and John Townsend are alumni of Biola University, and they actually apparently wrote this book while they were still in school as PhDs studying to complete their psychology degrees. This book, I think, has been really helpful to me and to many of the people that I see in just articulating what exactly boundaries are. Physical, emotional, intellectual boundaries that help us define self and other. Many of us, myself included, struggle at times with wanting to please other people. We see this in, Mr. Nice Guy syndrome, and sort of not being able to articulate what irks us. Or what we will not stand for. And so we go along kind of resenting what is, but also not wanting to perturb the waters. And so that doesn't make for a really great relationship or life. The doctors Cloud and Townsend really articulate ways in which we can set those boundaries and live in a more healthy and whole and integrated fashion. Now, for those of you who are not Christian, they do quote a lot from the Bible. That might be anathema to you, depending on what your background is with the church or your exposure. But I do think even if you eliminate quotations from Proverbs and Psalms and the like, there's a lot of pithy information here that is solid and worthwhile. Those of you who are of a Christian background, I do think that it is remarkable that Drs. Cloud and Townsend have written prolifically and have published prolifically despite being Christian psychologists, again, fellow unicorns, people who generally are not seen as being purveyors of mental health. And yet, I think they really do a great job of integration, which is, one of the hallmarks of Biola and Fuller and other schools that have PhD psychology programs. And I personally found them to be quite balanced and not too far one way or the other, just right. As a Pisces, that's very important for me. So if you are at all interested, this might be a great book for a small group study or even, a Sunday afternoon series to go through with your congregation, because I think, especially within the church, especially depending on our gender, depending on the theological backbone of the congregation that we're in, we may be taught to stomach and to shoulder a lot more than is necessary or is healthy, and being able to set those boundaries, in a concise and demure and respectful way, I think is key, because all of us know those people in positions of power, whether in the corporate world or in the church, who can influence us to do things that we don't necessarily want to. And I do think if we are equipping our congregations with the ability to say no, that's actually a huge gift. Well, until next time, happy reading and love yourself.